Hey, welcome to another episode of the Not Scrum Dumb podcast. I'm your co-host, Andreanna Marshall, and that's my amazing co-host.
Grand Scrum Master Scott. Greetings, everyone.
So today we're going to talk about something a little different. We're going to be talking about one of Scott's friends actually works at a bank, and they're now requiring that each of their Scrum Masters and Agile practitioners to get mandatory cloud training. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, Scott's experience, what his friend was told, and then kind of our opinions and how you can grow in that area, which is seeming like something that is mandatory. We've talked about the AWS in a couple of videos. We'll have the links in the description for you so that you can learn a little bit more about those too. Scott?
Thank you, Andreanna. Just to give you some context, everyone, the Scrum Master friend I was talking to recently, and they had a town hall meeting. Now, for those of you who don't know, the town hall meeting is that's when like a corporation get together. They normally do it on like a quarterly basis. They talk about what they did, and they talk about new things coming up. And as I was talking to the Scrum Master at the end of that town hall meeting, he said, "Scott, guess what? They told us that all the Scrum practitioners in this organization has to become some type of cloud certified, be it Amazon Web Services, be it Google, be it Microsoft." I'm like, whoa. And at first thought, I'm like, that's dumb. It's like, why would they want to do that? But then, Andrea and I got to thinking. Both you and I are professional Scrum trainers, and we talk an awful lot about Scrum implementation in Scrums. And we talk about how if everybody had the same training, the same base level of knowledge, I imagine we probably would have more better Scrum implementations company wide. So after stepping back and thinking about that, I'm like, well, that's going to give them an advantage in regards of everybody getting the same knowledge, everybody getting the same thing. Now, after that conversation, I began to go online and research some articles. I was curious. I'm like, okay, I got an inside scoop. So let me go ahead and research some stuff and get ahead of the game. I couldn't find any articles on it. So I called a few other Scrum Masters that work for that company. I said, hey, I just heard from this person that worked for the organization. Y'all had a town hall meeting? Yeah, we did. And y'all have to get certified? Yeah, we do. By when? End of 2025. I'm like, wow, okay. I just wanted to confirm that. One person said, I called a few more people in the organization. I'm like, okay, let me let me do some thinking. Now, as Andriana said, we've talked about this before that cloud ain't going nowhere. Cloud is here to stay. And I'm always looking for ways to keep myself relevant and marketable for the workplace. So I think this would be a great opportunity to do that. And I'm also thinking, I'm still puzzled with the question of why would they do this? Standardization of skills, just like we teach in Scrum, some of the things that they want to do. And I'm just looking for ways that I can use that information to benefit myself, Andrana. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty similar in terms of I think this is where I kind of said this was going a few months ago with the previous AWS video that we did earlier this year. Very much saying that I can foresee that people are going to are going to have to know this in order to get a job because it's one of the things, another thing that we've talked about besides AWS is that you need to understand how the work gets done. So having the ability to understand the cloud which your team is working on is going to be really crucial for you to help them remove impediments and understand their challenges and their workflow. So that's why I think this is really important overall. It's something that I've continued to dive deeper into, and people want to make sure that they're getting their money's worth. They're not always seeing the value, and that's debatable on if that Scrum Master is valuable or not. But that's one of those things where they wanna make sure now that you have these hard skills or these very easy to understand skills, because you can easily interview someone and understand if they understand the cloud, what database to use, in what situation. That's a lot simpler as well, so it's going to be a little bit harder. You're gonna have to have both the hard skill and the soft skill now as a Scrum Master, I think, moving forward.
That's a very good point as a result of hearing what you said earlier when you talked about the AWS cloud. And that was in my product backlog anyway for my personal development. But now I'm going to put that at the top of the backlog, getting ready for 2025. Now, Andriana, one of the things I was thinking about, maybe you have the answer to this question, but after that, I talked to a Scrum Master who has a Google certification. Because I was like, hey, should I get AWS? Should I get Microsoft? Should I get Google? He said, well, I got Google and Microsoft. I'm like, there's several of them out there. How do I know which one to get? He said, that's a very good question. He said, Scott, I made that mistake. I said, what was the mistake? He said, the lower level certifications, they felt like that at the end of the certification, he felt like a salesperson. In other words, he knew all of Google products, but he said in terms of me actually doing something with it, it was more so like an overview of the actual products itself. And he said, if I was a salesperson, I could see how I can use that or need that. So my question to you is, AWS, is it like that? Is that like a baseline, where you just learn about the different tools or it goes deeper? How does that work?
Yeah, so each of the ones have a different standard, right? Usually they all have foundational, which is for anyone, meaning you can have zero technical skills and you can easily learn. And yeah, salespeople would take it. Anyone that just has zero marketing, it could be anyone, they could easily take this. They can easily study and understand. I think it's a good thing to actually start with the foundational level because one, you get a feel for what type of questions they ask. Some people have gone straight to, like, the second level, which is usually the associate level. Now, everyone has a different name. Microsoft and Google may have a different name, but AWS, it's the foundation, and then it's associate, and then it's professional. And I believe Microsoft and, Google, they have that same kinda, like, 1, 2, 3, and maybe even above. Their names will change a little, but that's fine. So some people have just gone straight to the associate. I think it could be a little challenging if you haven't taken a proctored exam in a while. You just wanna at least dip your toe into and take that first level one to understand kinda the type of questions they ask, how they ask. The associate is much harder, it is very different, but I will say my personal experience, the first time I did the foundational one, I did it online, it was proctored, it was a whole mess. I had to wait forever. From my start time was like 10 AM. I didn't start till like noon. I think I might have had a much more difficult time doing
Mm.
that for the associate one because it's so much harder. So kind of going through the process really helped. It is much easier. The foundation is much easier than the associate, but I had that base level knowledge going into the associate. So there's some crossover, of course, but yeah, I mean, it's really to understand just basically what the products are at the foundational level.
Did you say there was going to be proctor? Does that means I have to go to a facility and actually take this exam? It's not like I can take this online when I'm ready.
Both options are available. It is proctored 100%. You can go to a physical office or you can take it
Okay.
online, but then you have to make sure that your space is 100% compliant. They will not let you start the exam until you are
Wow.
100% compliant. Oh, yeah.
What?
They wouldn't even let me have, it was like artwork on the wall. They were like, "Please take that down." I was like, "Oh, no words." I had to take
Wow.
it down. It was crazy.
Wow.
Pretty much everything was taken off the walls. I mean, I basically stripped my room down to nothing at that point, but by the
Wow.
second time I already knew, so everything was already gone out of the office, so, that's how I played that one, but yeah, it's proctored.
I've never had that experience before. Every proctored exam I've ever went, well, PMI ECP was my last one, and yeah, I had to go to a facility for that. Never
Yeah,
took
I
a
went to a
virtual
facility
proctor.
too. Yeah, that was my first one. It was a heck of an
Wow.
experience.
Hey, welcome to the new world.
Yeah. I think they started doing more of these post-COVID, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened. It was a
Wow.
mess. It was really challenging the first time. After that, you kinda get the gist of it.
I think that's good
Alright.
stuff.
So if you're looking to actually learn AWS, we can help you with that. We'll leave something in the description by the end of the year for anyone. In the next couple of months, I have a full AWS course available for both the foundation and the associate. So you can kind of pick and choose which one that you want. You can leave your email. You can check out the link in the description for more details and how to sign up so that you get notifications for that. You can also sign up for our email list. Yeah. So if you're looking to actually learn the cloud, I do recommend starting at the foundational level, especially if you don't have any technical experience. If you already have some level of experience, they do recommend 1 year of experience, for example, with AWS, the associate level. Before you take that, you should have some base level knowledge before starting to study that. It would just make it a lot easier for you. So I do recommend starting at the foundational level, even though it's not that hard, but again, it gets progressively harder when you go to the associate level. It's not as simple as what database does this. Now you have to combine multiple products, multiple solutions together. Now there's different ones, AWS, Microsoft, and Google. If you are looking to learn AWS, you feel free to reach out to us. We'll leave a link in the description with how you can sign up for a course that's upcoming for AWS that I'll be teaching. And if you just want to sign up to Not Scrum Dumb, feel free to subscribe to our email list. We'll be sending exclusives to our subscribers. You can also reach out to us. Our LinkedIn's in the description. If you made it to the end of this video, that means you have an attention span greater than a goldfish.
Be legendary, everyone, but not Scrum Dumb.